Yeah, as reported in this morning Variety, Marvel sets Vision series for 2026 with Paul Bettany and Star Trek Picard executive producer Terry Matalas as its showrunner. Exclusive. Marvel has tapped Star Trek Picard executive producer Terry Matalas to resurrect Vision, the synthezoid played by Paul Bettany, for a new untitled Disney Plus series set for 2026. 2 years from now, Variety has learned exclusively. Bettany will return to the role, and Matalas will serve as its showrunner. After Vision died at the hands of Thanos in 2018's Avengers Infinity War, he returned twice over in 2021's WandaVision, first as the spectral creation made by his beloved Wanda Maximoff through magical powers by grief. This then as a rebuilt nuts and bolt android with a ghost white appearance and zero memory of his past life. When the two visions battled in WandaVision's finale, Wanda's vision restored the ghost's Vision's memories, that Wanda allowed her vision to fade from existence. The new show will take place after those events as Ghost Vision presumably explores the purpose in life. Let's see, yeah, and then we'll just end with this one. Marvel brought in Matalas after his work running season 3 of Star Trek Picard, which brought back the cast of Star Trek: The Next Generation to widespread acclaim, garnering Matalas as a WGA award-winning award nomination for the 2023 series. Greatly impressed the top brass at Marvel. So Terry Matalas, Vision.
Okay.
We've talked a lot about the future of Marvel, and in our eyes hasn't been that great. What's your impression of this? What's your impression of this story?
I mean, the first thing is, one, I just literally did a story about this, or an article, or covered an article about this yesterday, with Marvel rebranding everything. They're going to have Marvel Television and Marvel Animation. They're trying to separate that from Marvel Studios as the film, subset of overall Marvel Entertainment. And in my opinion, that's not going to fix anything. But what will fix Marvel is stuff like this, getting good showrunners and good story, writers to tell stories that fans would be interested in, to do it in a proper way. Now, I know Terry Matalas has done Star Trek Picard. I haven't watched Star Trek Picard. All right, but I do trust I trust the opinions of those that have told me you really need to watch Star Trek Picard. Chris Gore he was hitting me up when we went to a film meetup. And he was like, you haven't watched Star Trek Picard, bro? You need to watch Star Trek Picard. Forget the first 2 seasons. Just jump straight to season 3. You're not missing anything. And that's kind of the reason I didn't watch it in the first place, is because I heard so much bad things about season 1 and 2. I'm like, all right, well, there's no reason to watch this. But everybody that I trust has come out and said season 3 is, the one to watch. And he's the showrunner of season 3, right? He did season 3.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so to me, that's what you need to do. You need to go back to getting good filmmakers, good storytellers, good showrunners to produce content for your franchises. Marvel's been getting away with, I don't know, just random people, writing stories. People don't have the same gravitas as somebody that's done it before. They're not getting good ideas from their creatives, and their creatives are, basically letting them down. So if they can bring a guy on like Terry Matalas, and if he's good, if everybody is saying this guy is the real deal, okay, then it's going to work. I think it's going to be just fine. And this is something you can get excited for, because if you trust the work he did on Star Trek Picard, all right, then you can probably trust the work he's going to do on Vision. But, when you have stuff like the writers for Morbius wrote Madam Web, and you're like, how did that happen? That's what all of these guys are doing. They're allowing people that failed once to come back and fail again. Give the wins to these guys. All right, Terry and other guys like this. Give it to these guys.
Yeah, let me just speak to. So, we covered Picard season 3 on Film Thread. That's honestly the only reason I ever watched Picard season 3, because it had good buzz behind it, and I think it was worth venturing it, because I'll tell you, I'm a massive Next Generation fan. I watched every single episode, start to finish. Deep Space Nine. This is Star Trek for me. And to have seen, as Chris Gore likes to complain about, with Han, Luke, and Leia, With Star Trek Picard season 3, they brought the entire crew back together. If you watch if you go to the Film Thread interview channel, I recently interviewed LeVar Burton, and we talked about this. We talked
Okay.
about what was it like to get that script and get that call from Terry Matalas and say, hey, we're bringing the gang back together, and he was like, he was excited because I think Marina and Jonathan were already on board. So he got on board. Terry also gave him a chance to give guidance as to where he wanted Geordi to go, and I think he did that for everyone. It's like, how do you see your character in the future, and then he wrote based on that. And the other thing that I think led to a lot of the success of Picard season 3 was freedom. Paramount just let him, for some reason, they decided we're going to let this guy just go ahead and produce the show however he wants. And that was the result. And I can tell you, I have seen people on social media who have worked with Terry. I've talked to a friend of a friend. Excuse me for a second.
Go ahead.
I talked to a friend of a friend who has worked with Terry Matalas, and across the board, everyone said he's a great guy to work with.
Okay.
The onset, the writer's room. Excuse me.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I'm just getting over a cough here.
No worries,
From
bro.
everyone, this what Terry does is he creates an environment that you want to work on. And that was Picard season 3. There's something about excuse me. There's something about going to work and having fun that says, hey, you talk for a moment.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. It's like when you bring in people that absolutely have a passion for what it is that they're doing. That's basically what it comes down to, right, folks? If you got a passion for the game and you have a passion for the franchise, these are the people that you want behind the scenes making the content. You don't want people that are Johnny-come-lately tourists, first time on the job. They haven't been around before. They don't know anything about it. Like, I would be the worst person to, bring out a Star Trek series because I'm not a dyed-in-the-wool Star Trek fan. Okay, now Star Wars, I would be, the guy to consult with that. But yeah, when it comes to Star Trek, you want people that love and have an absolute passion for Star Trek, I should say. And it sounds like this guy does because he brings back the whole gang and he has the perfect plot and the perfect storyline, and that's exactly what it is that you're looking for. Versus somebody that just doesn't really, hey, it's a franchise. I can build, my resume off of this franchise. I can write some great stories. I can do whatever. It's like, but are you really like going to give the fans what they want? Or are you using this as some sort of a stepping stone for your career? And I feel like a lot of Hollywood cats, that's what they're doing. They're just using these franchises as stepping stones, and they're not like tuned in to the franchise, to the fan base, to anything, to the characters, to the storylines that have come before them. They're not tuned into that stuff. They just kind of get, okay, let me read up on Wikipedia real quick. All right, got it. Let's go ahead and get out.
Now, I will say on the downside. So here are the risks. One is that Terry's going to be he's gonna have corporate suits looking over his shoulder constantly. That's a possibility. And I, from what people have told me about him, is that that's not his game, and that he wouldn't necessarily have taken this job if that was going to be the case. That there's the sense is that he wanted a level of freedom, and that it sounds like he's in a position where he can demand freedom. So I hope that's true. The other thing is, it's interesting that it's a Vision series. I don't know that we were exactly asking for a Vision series. I will say that next to Nightcrawler, I think Vision is probably my second favorite Marvel character. And but the thing is the way he's been treated, the way his character has evolved over time. I would basically say after Infinity War and beyond, I've not been excited about what they did to Vision and with Vision, and realizing that what they did to Vision after that kind of veers off from what everything I loved about that character. And so I'm kind of, I'm cautiously optimistic. What are your thoughts in terms of, will this be a good series or not? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry about
There you
that.
go.
My mic was a little hot. I was just trying to make some adjustments. Yeah, I think the main thing is, again, it's who do we trust this guy? And based on Star Trek Picard, yes, there's a little bit of trust there. He's built up some equity with the fans. Okay. Now, can he undo what Marvel has done to the brand, in a short period of time with this one show and this one character? No, but it's a step in the right direction if he gets it right. Because again, I trust when we have good storytellers. Like, that's the main thing. You got to get guys that understand. They have to understand the fans. They have to understand the lore. What's gone before them. They are now standing on the shoulders of people that created this. They're not the ones creating. They're telling a story within the universe. And so the goal should be, hey, I got to get close to what the fans expect, what the original vision of the original creator was. That's the goal here. And if he can do that, I'm not a big Vision fan. Vision's okay character. I'm not a huge fan of his, but I do enjoy Paul Bettany's performance of Vision. I think he does a really good job. So I hope that this can put Marvel on the right tracks. I think all of us can say we want good content from these franchises because they mean a lot to us. We grew up on this stuff. And we would love to get more great storytelling coming from these franchises, but you need the right people involved. And sometimes Kevin Feige, I mean, it's literally like the roll of the dice, whether or not, he's going to produce something good. And most of the time it comes up craps. All right. It just comes up snake eyes on most of his projects lately. And it's like, okay, are you going to start bringing in some real quality storytellers? Bob Iger, quality over quantity. He's been saying that lately. All right. Are you going to finally do it? Because we've been hearing this, Bob, for the last 3 to 4 years, and we haven't seen any quality. We've been getting a lot of quantity. We've been getting a whole lot of quantity, even though you said you're going to slow down on that. But we're not getting the quality that we expect. So let's see that. All right. Let's start to get some quality coming out of these properties that mean everything to us as fans. And the main thing is, and this is what I want to end it on, these franchises, Disney may own it, but it belongs to us. Because we're the ones that put the energy and the enthusiasm into building these franchises into what they were. Marvel, DC, Star Wars, whatever, Star Trek. The fans built this. It's not just, okay, yeah, you got a creator that created it, but the fans poured their love, their passion, their excitement, their enthusiasm into it. And so we need these studios to start paying attention to that. Because as you can see, if you don't give us what we're looking for, we're checking out. We outro. All right, we're gone. We're not coming back either. It's going to be really hard for them to get a lot of the fans base back after what they've done to some of these franchises.
Yeah. I mean, it's like what Iger says when we keep bringing up IP mining because that's a term he's coined now.
Yeah.
But you're right in the sense that it is ours. It is for the fans because we're the ones who really ultimately paid for it. They may have put the money up front, but we're the ones who are shelling out the cash to see these movies and to buy the merch. And that's what Disney has long lost is this
they
idea
forgot all about that.
Yeah, they forgot that the fans are the ones who are primary here. The fact that you can take Doctor Who, basically tell all the fans of Doctor Who to go kick rocks, and then like, just make a show and then make a gay show out of it. I mean, that's Doctor Who. It's a LGBT gay show, which is fine. If you want to hit that niche, hit that niche. And good luck. I hope you make money. All right.
But you know what? Let me say this too. When it comes to who is behind the scenes, the situation with X-Men 97 is such a perfect example of we just want good storytelling. Bo DeMayo is a person of color, LGBTQ, and everybody loves X-Men 97. It literally does what we want them to do. And we don't really care who this guy is. We don't care what his ideology is, his lifestyle is. We could care less. We care about the franchise that you're behind. And so it should go to show that all we want is the good stories. That's all we care about. If you do it right, we're on board. And we don't give a damn who you are and what your lifestyle is or who you like to sleep with, or we don't care about any of that. What we care about is, hey, you're doing right by the franchise. You're giving us the goods, and that's what matters. And so all of that stuff aside, if Disney and Disney is really the main culprit, everybody else is kind of starting to figure this thing out. Disney's slow on the game. If they figure out, hey, we just need to give the fans what they're asking for, I think everything's going to get a whole lot better. And then they can have all of the people, whoever is behind the scenes making it, we won't care as long as the content is good. Because I don't really care what you do in your life, in your personal life. I don't care. You know, but I care what you're doing with my franchise right here in
Mhm.
front of me. I care about that. So get that right, and then
Yeah.
you know, live your life, whatever.
It's always about story.